It will be ready to go. All right. Over there I have my gunners and my mortarmen. And the first thing that we need to do is we need to plant pointing stakes. So he's going to get the command. Plant the pointing stakes. What happens here is the 1 and 2 man will grab some stakes and a mallet. They'll go in front of the mortar, and they will line that stake up in front of the mortar with the stake up on top of the wall. Once they're satisfied, they will drive that more. Give it some more. Beat it some more. There we go. Then they're going to take a shorter stake. They're going to go behind the mortar, hand that to the gunner, and he's going to line that up to the stake in front of the mortar and the one up on top of the wall. The last stake will go off to the right of the mortar, behind the number 1 man's position. This is used for one of the implements for cleaning and loading the mortar. All right, once they get this done and the gunner's satisfied, they'll take the hammer and they'll put that mallet back into the basket and they'll resume their positions. The next thing is the gunner has to give out the equipment.
Take implement.
Take implements is the command. What happens here is he'll give a tube pouch to the number 3 man. This has the friction primers, the lanyard, and the priming wire in it. He'll hand out a set of sleeves to the number 1 man. Number 3 will assist the number 1 man on putting on the sleeves. The sleeves are there to keep your uniform clean, also to keep down on any static electricity. You kind of don't want that. The gunner will take the basket, put it next to that, and take the tongs out, put it between the basket and the mortar. The gunner also gave a gunner's haversack to the number 4 man. This will have the gunpowder in it that he'll bring forward, and he kept the haversack himself that has all his tools on it. Once everybody's getting together, the gunner's going to reach into his gunner's haversack out, and he's going to pull out a gunner's level. The gunner's level is sheet brass with feet on it and a pointer and a spirit level on it. He's going to put this on top of the mortar because what he's looking for is the top dead center of the mortar. Once he finds and determines where he wants to put that, he's going to go ahead and take a piece of chalk or a soapstone out, and he's going to mark the top of the mortar. Once he's satisfied with that, he'll put that back into his gunner's haversack. And then he's going to go ahead and give the command.
Load.
Load. What happens here is the 2 and 4 man go to the rear of the mortar to get the ball and bring that forward. The gunner will get a spoon scraper out of the basket. He's going to go ahead and try to clean out the inside of the mortar from anything fired before. The number 1 man will get a wiping cloth. He will go behind the gunner and wipe out the mortar. The number 3 man will take a broom. He will sweep the platform, and then he will punch the vent to make sure that it's clear. As the 2 and 4 man come forward with Mr. Wilson, they will pass between the gunner and the mortar. Once they get there, the gunner will reach into the number 4's haversack and he will take out the gunpowder. Gunpowder is different here than it is to fixed artillery. Here you actually take the powder and pour it into the bottom of the mortar. As the hand spike is passed off to the number 1 man, the number 4 man will take the wiping cloth, and then the number 3 man will help the gunner and pull up a piece of aluminum foil once the powder is placed. The aluminum foil there is not part of the original drill. We didn't have aluminum back in that period. However, we use it to try to protect Mr. Wilson and keep him for multiple shots. All right. Next, they will place Mr. Wilson into the muzzle of the mortar and push him all the way down. All right, once he gets in place, the number 4 man will get the pointing cord and bring it to the back, and everyone will pick up their hand spikes. The gunner will retreat to the rear of the mortar to get ready to actually point the mortar. while he's doing that, Gunner, go back to the basket and get your gunner square. The gunner square is has a pendulum on there, a little piece of lead on a string. He takes that and puts it on the left side of the board because we need to get our elevation. And our elevation now is about 60 degrees. So if we're there, he'll take that back, put it back in the basket, and retrieve to the back to pick the pointing cord from the number 4 man. Now I want you to see what he does, because now what he's doing is he takes that cord, he puts it over top of the mortar from that front pointing stake to the rear pointing stake. Now he wants to line up that mark he put on the mortar to the stake up on top of the wall.
Good.
Once he's happy, he gives a command.
Ready.
All right, on a command ready, the gunner's going to bring that pointing cord back. The 1, 2, and 4 man are going to retire to the rear of the mortar. The number 3 man's going to take that friction timer and make sure it's on the lanyard, and he's going to get ready to insert that into the bed. The gunner's going to come back and get something, is a board, a deflector board. The deflector board is not part of the drill. And folks, right here, you need to get on this side of the stairs, please, for me. All the way on the other side of the stairs, thank you. All right, once they get that, because the deflector board there is to drive these friction timers straight down to the wall. If it wasn't there, that friction timer is going to go back over the wall that way, and that's why I don't want anybody back there. Once everything's set, the gunner's set, we're looking good. Now we're going to look out and make sure the range is clear. What I'm waiting for is a thumbs up. We got our thumbs up, we are ready to go. Hey, you made my roll! Folks, and that was 6 ounces of powder. When it used to be at 45-degree elevation, it would be into the woods. So we got to go with the wind and everything like that, but it went over the wall. It was successful. All right, folks, we're ready to go to lunch here. If you got any questions, come down and ask. Other than that, I really appreciate you coming by today. Thank you very much.
Thank you. God bless you.